2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, buddy, here we are. What's up? Welcome in, my friends. Great to have you today for a Friday. You finally made it to the end of the week. Pat yourself on the back. You scream, I scream, we all scream for the weekend. It is not National Ice Cream Day. That would be the day Joe Biden officially dropped out of the presidential race. See what we did there?
Winning.
That's what it's all about. Welcome into the show. Great to have you. My head is spinning today. There is so much to cover and talk about, and I know what you want me to talk about. I'm not going to do it today. I'm sorry to let you down for a Friday. I am not going to do it today. So, of course, one of the biggest topics we like to discuss on this program with the
Weird news of the day.
I saw, as soon as I woke up this morning, the major dump of the UFO UAP files from the Trump administration, the Department of War, as they released thousands of PDF files on their website. And you can read them all yourself now at war.gov/UFO. And you can read all the files right there. I have been trying to read some of them as the day's gone on. I have been able to read a few here and there in between my work. I am going to do a deep dive this weekend. So either on the weekend program or on early next week, I will break some of those down for you. Wild stuff, man. There's some pretty crazy things. So no, I'm sorry to let you down. I am not doing it on the show today. I'm sorry. Because I want to give you all the information. So we'll break it down. First and foremost, welcome into the show. Happy Friday to you as we do our thing.
Do it live!
Like we do every single day here on the program. We got a big show lined up for you. Elaine Kulati will be on the program at the bottom of the hour. She is a candidate for the governor of California with the no party preference. Candidate. So one of the independents that has not been on the debate stage. We've had her on the show before. She is known as the female MAGA candidate of California. And where is she at on the governor's race and the politics in the state of California? Great conversation we'll have with her in just a little bit. We've had some bombshell news today, man, with the redistricting in Virginia, the Supreme Court there not standing up and defending the vote of the people, and Democrats losing their mind on that one. And then we have, which is what we're going to get to with our guest on the program right out of the gate.
What's trending today?
Tennessee officially passing their redistricting plan. And you want to talk about meltdowns, man. They are absolutely insane. The chance of racism, the burning of the Confederate flags. And I did not realize that by removing a quote-unquote all-black district that's represented by a white dude was going to be so bad, because a potentially Republican black female could be taking over the district and the redrawing of the lines, and that somehow racist. That's kind of weird to me. The protest happening as the vote was happening at the Capitol. Racist! Yeah. Come on, man. Okay. And it only got more from there. Pretty wild. To talk about that, we had to bring him on the show now that he's back up and at it. So good to see him back up and at it as well as we go to our...
Let's go to the Red State Spirits Hotline.
That's right. Red State Spirits are great partners here on the program. RedStateSpirits.com. Get your bourbon for the upcoming Memorial Weekend celebrations right around the corner. True American bourbon is what you need to check out with RedStateSpirits.com. The man himself, host of the Todd Starnes radio program, nationally syndicated at ToddStarnes.com. The man himself, Todd, how are you, my friend?
Andy, doing well. We're trying to figure out what happened at the state capitol just the other day.
Oh my gosh.
But quite frankly, everybody here in the volunteer state were a little embarrassed by how the Democrats behaved. Just really, that's not how Tennesseans are supposed to act in public.
That was probably, I mean, we've seen a lot of meltdowns from Democrats around the country, California, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, even Washington and Chicago, but that took it to another level. I mean, they really started raging to remove the one Democrat district out of Tennessee, redrawing it. And Todd, it blows my mind when they call racism. They say it's a predominantly black district, but it was a district that was represented by an old white guy that could now be replaced by a black woman, and they're upset about that for some reason and says it's racist.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of fake news in all of this, so let me just cut through it because this is actually my congressional district.
Okay.
I know of what I speak here.
Yes.
It is a majority black district. Memphis, of course, one of the largest majority black cities in the nation. What's interesting about Steve Cohen, and he is the representative, he's a white guy, and he has held this seat for about 20 years. Now, the argument coming from the black Democrats, and these would be the radical progressives, being led by a guy by the name of Justin Pearson. He's the fellow with the huge power fro, and he's actually challenging Congressman Cohen in this congressional race, and the expectation was that Pearson was going to win because he's got a lot of support from groups like CNN and PMS Now. So Pearson is the guy that's been screaming and got in the face of one of the state troopers, called the white state trooper a boy. It was really ugly stuff. Now, what's interesting, when we did a deep dive into the district, for the past 10 election cycles, Cohen has actually had a black Democrat challenge him in the primary. And yet every single time, the black voters chose to go with the white guy instead of the black candidate. Now, on the Republican side here, what I find truly fascinating and ironic is that Republicans actually nominated and elected a black woman to be their nominee to go up against Cohen, not once, but 6 times. Wow. And every single time, the black woman lost to the white guy in the majority black district. So for them to come out and say, oh, this is all those racist Republicans, the only racism we're seeing is actually coming from the black Democrats in Memphis.
That is so wild. Why is it that that's where they resort to? And obviously they're angry about the Supreme Court decision in Louisiana about it being a racially gerrymandered district that led open to Tennessee with you guys making that move, Alabama challenging some of their racially gerrymandered laws according to Republicans there, Florida voting on theirs. I mean, it seems like this has been an issue for a while, and they always scream racism to the point now Hakeem Jeffries saying that this is a violation of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Why are they resorting to that argument?
Yeah, look, that's the only argument they have. I mean, the reality is that Memphis has been controlled by blacks for generations now, black Democrats. Cohen's the only white guy, I think, leader congressionally speaking, but locally, from the county to the city level, everybody from the mayor, the police chief, the city council, the entire school board, black and Democrat, not a single Republican. And look at what's happened. You've got Memphis, which has become the most dangerous, the most deadly city in America, so bad that Trump had to send in the National Guard. You've got one of the worst school systems in America now. As a matter of fact, 70% of the kids in Memphis schools cannot read at grade level. It's so bad, the state stepped in and they had to take over the school system. So I think from the voter standpoint, you have to ask yourself, are you really being well served by Democrats right now? Forget about skin color, but are you being served by the Democrat Party? And I think the answer is resoundingly no.
No, and I think that as we go into a midterm when the minority party predominantly does better than the majority party and they get all this momentum, and they did well last year in kind of these off-season random seats here and there across the country, they have this enthusiasm. They think they're going to do well, and even we saw the report from the Washington Post a few days ago that the Trump team is now preparing for having to deal with a Democrat-run Congress. I don't know that necessarily to be true, Todd, when we see still support among Republicans at a 95+% approval rating of President Donald Trump. And with the failures that we're seeing in the Democrat Party, I don't know how there's any enthusiasm here.
No, I don't either. And don't get me wrong, the Republican Party has done everything humanly possible to try and lose leadership. They have.
Yeah.
Even then, the situation on the Democrat side of the aisle is so bad. It is so bad. I just don't see them being able to overcome the fact that, you have got a massive divide within the party. And let me just point back to Memphis, for example. Most black Democrats in Memphis are actually socially conservative people. And many of them are actually embarrassed by what Justin Pearson did yesterday. You saw the big black woman without Spanx getting up and standing defiantly on her Senate desk. Thoughts and prayers for the desk. They see those kinds of things, Andy, and people are like, that's not who we are, and that's embarrassing. And I think there's going to be some blowback from, especially with Justin Pearson calling the state trooper an MFer, and just the rhetoric and the language has been ugly. But can I point out something incredibly ironic about the whole thing?
Yeah.
This is all documented on video, Andy. So yesterday in the Deep South in Nashville, Tennessee, at our state capitol, it was a black Democrat who actually brought a noose into the building. It was black Democrats who dressed up in KKK uniforms, wearing the hoods inside the Capitol building. Then you had another black Democrat waving around a Confederate flag that was printed out. And then you've got another black Democrat who says that he wants Memphis to secede from the Union. The irony, we call it the war of northern aggression, in the South, but I think we're looking at the war of radical black aggression right now.
Yeah, well, and it shows when they talk about the flip that happened somehow supposedly in the 60s with all the racists and all the Nazis and the KKK all going to the Republican side of the aisle. That's obviously not true happening in Tennessee right now, because you see some pretty angry Democrats angry about their identity politics.
Andy, we cannot confirm the reports. I knew you were probably going to ask about this, so I wanted to just jump in. We cannot confirm reports that the Southern Poverty Law Center discounted the Klan hoods.
That's right.
So I think they were full price.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, we're talking with Todd Starnes, nationally syndicated radio host. ToddStarnes.com is the website. You mentioned it, and with your flagship radio station that you have there, KWAM, the Mighty 990 out there in Memphis, Tennessee, you've shaken up a lot of individuals because of this identity politics and this deep-seated idea of racism and bickering among individuals. I mean, you've gotten into that market and you've rattled that cage and shaken things up. What's been the response to calling out this absurdity within the community?
Well, we get a lot of death threats, but we also get a lot of people that are celebrating and saying thank you. Finally we have a media outlet that's not afraid to say what needs to be said and to speak truth to power. And we do that every single day. We call out Republicans when they do things wrong. We call out Democrats. So, we don't read off anyone's talking points. And I think folks respect that. It's somewhat refreshing.
Yeah.
And we're also able to touch on those topics. And race is a big one in the South. And I have no problem going in and, again, calling out folks that are using race as a tool to divide us. And that really angers me as a Southerner. And we call that out every single day. But, I mean, you guys know there as the big talker in Wichita, it's a place where people are going to be able to get an opinion that is not laden down or maybe watered down because of corporate rules and regulations. So
That's
right.
right.
I think people appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very refreshing for sure. Todd, we got about 45 seconds left. I know you had a health scare recently. I'm glad you're okay. How are you feeling, my friend? We were concerned about you. I had the honor to fill in for your show as you were on the recovery. It's good to hear you back behind the microphone the last couple of days.
Well, Thank you, and you did a great job, Andy. Thank you for that. Yeah, I have a mechanical aortic valve, and the artery leading into the heart had what the 90% blockage. They call it the widowmaker. Doctors did a great job of getting me back on my feet. And I must say, I sincerely believed that gravy was actually a lubricant.
That's right.
I had no idea that was really detrimental to one's health.
Well, good to know. I heard you say that on the radio, and I'm taking that to heart. So now no more am I going to use that sausage gravy as that lubricant moving forward. So that's good to know, and taking the medical advice with Todd Starnes. ToddStarnes.com. Go check out the website. All the great radio affiliates you have across the country. Todd, we love you, my friend. Let's get you back on and do it again soon, brother.
Sounds great, Andy. Take care.
Hey, always a pleasure. Todd Starnes right there, nationally syndicated radio host, and online at ToddStarnes.com. There you go. Also, you can find us, by the way, Newsmax TV show and his books on his website, too. All right, we got to take a break. We got lots more coming up around the corner for your Friday, setting that tone for the weekend. Lots more coming up.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Ready to take your health back? At Hooser Health, we empower you with holistic options. From natural hormone support to targeted pain management, our handcrafted herbal products are designed to complement your wellness journey safely and effectively. With organic, easy-to-understand ingredients, you can trust in the quality and freshness of every product. Rediscover powerful forgotten herbs. Visit HooserHealth.com and take the first step toward empowerment today.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. And as you know, on this show, it's all about the American spirit. Bold, proud, and unapologetic. And Red State Spirits does the same from grain to glass. Enjoy their true American vodka, smooth bourbon whiskey, classic gin, or rich rum, crafted by veterans for those who stand tall and sip strong. And no matter how you stock your bar, enjoy the flat rate shipping with just $20, whether it's one bottle or 6. Order online today at redstatespirits.com. That's redstatespirits.com, and tell them I sent you. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did two guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
Making common sense great again. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome back into it. Happy Friday. Thanks again to Todd Starnes joining us. Always great to have him on. We don't get to do that very often. Usually he's on his Newsmax TV show at the same time we're on the air, so usually don't get a chance to chat with him, but always love when we have the opportunity to do so, and so glad he is back behind the microphone doing his thing. Thoughts and prayers have been to him for the past week. All right, welcome back into the show. Great to have you. I want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. The healthcare reform is desperately needed, and as we work on a reconciliation bill in Washington, D.C., there might be an opportunity to slip in some healthcare reforms. One of them that's desperately needed is, number one, repealing Obamacare, and number two, giving you more health options in the private market. That's what we need. Raising quality, lowering prices through capitalism and through competition. What a wild concept.
Say what?
And Americans for Prosperity are doing that exact thing. They are with their campaign right now, which you can go to the website at personaloption.com. Personaloption.com. Go find the information and give it to your elected official in your area and say, this is what we need to work on. Better options for yourself and for your family and for your household and for your business or whatever it may be. More options, more competition, less government intrusion, less government regulation, what it's all about. Personaloption.com. Go check it out with our friends over at Americans for Prosperity. All right, as we see the redistricting happen, we've seen a couple really big hits in the past few days for Democrats. They're kind of angry at us, right?
We're all gonna die because of you!
They're kind of losing their minds, but that doesn't mean that we don't slow down or stop. In fact, that's when we pick up momentum and we continue to ram it down. But they've taken it to the point of even claiming that the redistricting, that the immigration issue, that everything that we're doing, even saying that you'd have to be like an American citizen to fill out a census, wild concept, to actually be a member of society in that aspect, that's taking away the American dream. Now, look, we're all about immigration reform. We're about, as Donald Trump used to say, the big beautiful wall with the big beautiful door. We want it easier for individuals to come in here, but we want them to come here legally. Cheating the system, breaking the system for their own personal advantage is not the American dream, and that's not the way it should be for the American dream. But you got particular individuals out there making political statements on the campaign trail, hoping for another 2028 shot at the White House, that are saying this.
Talk about the American dream for so many people has become an American myth.
Here we go.
I'm
Yeah, it's a myth. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Did she just say that? Yeah, the American dream is now the American myth. I guarantee you. My prediction for the day, can we have the Andy's prediction segment?
Andy's prediction.
That's going to be the talking point from now on from Democrats, that the American dream is now the American myth. It's catchy. And now you can say it. And that's what you're going to hear at all these No Kings protests and anti-Donald Trump protests in the country, that the American dream is now the American myth. Now, people are living the American dream, but it's not the ones that they want, which is the ones they want to be solely on government social programs and be like, ha, you're living the American dream, sucking off the taxpayer money of somebody else.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the woman I met who shared with me, she's documented. Her husband is not. Her children are born here. They are, obviously. And she's a housekeeper, and she was explaining to me how the building in which most of the folks that she knows, immigrants, live, an apartment building, it's like 30% occupancy right now. It never has been that way. Why? Because they know that these buildings are where the raids are happening. So families have moved out of those buildings and are now renting basically unfinished basements in people's house scattered out around the community so that they won't be a target.
Okay, so making up stories now that saying that some of these apartments are 30%, 70% vacant right now, 30% occupancy because everybody's scared about these raids and are now living in unfinished, very specific, unfinished basements of other people's homes. And she goes on to talk about the unfinished basements that everybody's living in, stealing away the American dream. Here's an idea. Throwing it out there, take it as you will. We'll throw the net out and see if you catch on to it. If you follow the rules and you live the American dream the proper way, The American dream's still alive, isn't it? What a wild concept.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Our votes are not enough. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but does something about it, as they're America's only Christian conservative wireless carrier, and they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes that we actually care about. And now, just for my listeners, get free activation with offer code REASON. Again, go to patriotmobile.com and use promo code REASON for free activation. That's patriotmobile.com, user code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
It's America's political therapist. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back into the program. Great to have you here for your Friday on the Voice of Reason. Plenty to cover, man. I'm telling you, we need a 4-hour program today. There was so much to get to. We're going to try and cover as much of it as we can today, obviously, and throughout the weekend. Do not miss our syndicated program this weekend as well. The big show there, although this weekday program growing faster than what we had anticipated as well, which is awesome. New affiliates coming on next week. Do not miss that. That being said, I want to shift gears here. I want to go to California for just a moment. Outside of the Virginia issue, the redistricting issue, the primary season that's happening from the other states that had primaries, and what's coming up next week as well, California had a governor's debate this past week as their election continues on, and we had to bring back on one of our great guests on the show. She's running as the no-party preference candidate, an independent in the state of California. For governors, we go to our...
Let's go to the Red State Spirits Hotline.
That's right. Happy to have on here with Red State Spirits, redstatespirits.com. She is the independent candidate, or with the no-party preference side of the aisle. Also an entrepreneur and business person in the great state of California. Happy to have back on the program, Elaine Coulati. Elaine, how are you, my friend?
Thanks so much for having me on. I'm hanging in there, but it's, no party preference is tough. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've been, doing little debates, but they're not the big debates because they won't let you on.
It's so wild. Talk about the rules for those that don't know, that don't live in California, on what the rules look like in California, because I know it's very strange, and you guys have the debate stage right now that's had some few people on it. We've heard about Eric Swalwell obviously dropping out of the race, and the rumor is 2 Republicans could get the nomination. You guys have this runoff that goes into the general. It's very strange how you guys have things set up in California, so break that down for people.
All right. Well, I just want to first say that when I make something really hyperbolic on Instagram, I get 1 million follows. And when I make something complicated on Instagram, nobody listens. This is a little bit complicated. It's a little nuanced. So I'm going to try to soundbite it.
Sure.
When you go to a debate, the candidates are selected from a poll. So always remember to answer your pollsters, because those pollsters are only 1,000 people at a time. 20,000 people out of 40 million decide who gets on a debate stage in California, which is just not enough. So just think about that. Next is they do not poll independents. There will be no names of independents on what's called a media poll. And the media poll is what makes the debate stage. I'm learning as I'm going because I am not a politician. But this blocks the sun. And then when you ask the station or the pollster, did you poll independents? And they say yes. What they mean is they polled independent voters, not independent candidates. No independent candidates are included in polls, and that is why you will never see an independent in a general election of any kind. And they did this to Bobby Kennedy. They've done this to a lot of people. I just thought for some reason I'm so good that they won't do it to me.
Yeah. That is such a wild concept. And I know that we've always had issues, people talk about the 2-party system, and we see other states do certain things, but to not even give the chance to be on the debate stage at all. I mean, most states, being here in Kansas and being the vice chair of the Republican Party in Kansas, we talk about, the polling or certain fundraising levels to be on a debate stage, or some type of curriculum, not just to say, oh, you're not associated with anybody, you're not even going to get a chance to be on there. That's a wild system for California.
But it's across the country. Think about this. Just riddle me this, Batman. Ohio, Iowa, Georgia, Tennessee, Louisiana, Nevada. There's a bunch of states that are over 31% in the middle now. Yeah. So it's a trend that people are registering. Here in California, we have 23% registered no-party preferences without a candidate. So this is happening across America. This is not a California problem. People do want to see a person in the middle. They don't want to see a moderate Democrat or a moderate Republican. They want to see a moderate. And what that means is it makes a 3-party state, which gives people options. And I personally, whether I'm a Democrat or a Republican, I want options.
Yeah.
I want options. And then some people that I've spoken with that are experts in the field, and I do want to stress experts in the field, told me that MPPs don't vote in a primary election. I just want to say that is complete bunk. That is not true. No party preferences are actually very, very much critical thinkers. They've decided that their party is too much, and they want to be in the middle. We are gaslighting people. Many people want to hear from people like me. And look at the debates.
Yeah.
They are awful.
Yeah.
They're at the worst low polling Democrats are moving up to the top of the Democrat field because there's no option.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's really unfortunate. They're really trying to drive particular candidates for them to control the narrative and to be able to keep control of issues. It sounds like with so many independent candidates and with you running as the no party preference and with this movement that we've seen, we just had a guest on recently about the younger voters, my generation as millennials and younger, that are in record numbers walking away from the quote unquote two-party system and looking at different political ideas, that, you know, the independent move is becoming more and more intricate and important. Are you starting to crack the ceiling here? Obviously, you're running into a lot of obstacles in this race, but overall, are we starting to see a little bit of give here?
I think if I get on the debate stage of any of the debates, I will shine because my ideas are so different.
Right.
And I am not laden with the donor money. The donor money handicaps all of the candidates.
Yeah.
Because they cannot say what they really want to say without disrupting or interrupting the relationship with the donor.
Sure. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
This is it.
Yeah.
That's right. And we want to break that ceiling. So, yes, from your mouth to God's ears, please let Elaine Colati for governor in California be the first independent to be on a debate stage.
That would be, I would love to see that. I want to see you. I want to see you go in there and just tear that stuff apart, which is going to be fun. Let's talk about some of your platform for those that may not know. Looking at your website, I always love it. And obviously, what we're seeing right now at the federal level with the MAHA movement and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is right up your lane, talking about eating healthy, supporting small farmers across the state of California, and trying to get clean food back into the classrooms. That's what you guys have been focusing on. You've been doing that for a while, haven't you?
Oh, my gosh. For the food, our food system, he turns the whole food chart upside down, and you would think that they took, somebody's Skittles away. Everyone is
well,
so
he
upset.
did. He took away the dyes in the Skittles.
They're like, what do you mean we don't get Skittles for breakfast?
That's
it's
right.
just hilarious. And here's my take on it. Bobby Kennedy is one of the best HHS secretaries America has ever had. We should all be really grateful. Number one. Number two, the leading candidate on the Democratic side was the HHS secretary during COVID, and it was a complete fail. He was so bad, the Biden administration sidelined a Democrat.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, there's 85,000 missing children that were on Xavier Becerra's watch. And this is the guy that the Democrats are trying to push to the top. So if we do not do something about it, if we do not really raise our voices and be heard, we could wind up with a worse than Gavin Newsom governor in California in less than a few short weeks.
Yeah. Break down the debates. You mentioned the debates earlier with how it's the rhetoric that was on there from both sides and what they were saying. Break down some of these candidates that are leading right now, that are getting the media attention, and some of the stuff that we heard in these debates, because it broke my brain listening to some of the comments they made.
Well, I also do want to blame the news stations that are doing it. I'm going to call out CNN and NBC and some of the stations, and I mean this in the nicest possible way without upsetting anybody. But why are you creating questions like, who would you like to play you in a movie to potential candidates to run the state? Like, how unserious can you be?
Right.
This is not a joke. It is absolutely debilitating to have CNN block viable candidates like myself and then ask stupid questions to the potential managers of the state. It is so frustrating to me. The questions are just dumb.
Yeah.
They're dumb. And then you get dumb answers. And they also, all the Democrats want to have health care for undocumented illegal aliens. We don't have any money.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we want that. All of them don't want to fund the crime bill, Prop 36, to stop people from stealing and put them in jail if they steal. They don't want to fund it. All the Democrats.
Right.
And if you get down to it, you only have two Republicans. Nice guys, Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco. Great guys, okay? They cannot get a word in edgewise, and every time they say something, they get blamed for being MAGA.
Right.
And all they're saying is, this is insanity, guys. They go after Hilton because Trump endorsed him, and they go after Sheriff Bianco because he caught them cheating an election.
Right.
Like,
It's insane. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because we had one of the clips where they were openly saying, which you would think after the whole State of the Union that President Trump gave and said, stand up if you represent American citizens as opposed to illegal aliens. Democrats said that was a loaded question and they didn't stand up for it. But when they are on a debate stage and give the platform of what they want to say, this is what these guys are advocating for here.
On the question of health care for the undocumented,
I said everybody in California
you would
has a right to health care. And let's answer
California
this out.
should fund that.
The truth of the matter is immigrants built this state. Immigrants make this state run.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, openly just doubling down on this idea.
That is Steyer, and he's a billionaire. He's funded $134 million into his own campaign. It's ego-driven. Even though he's only 62, he seems like he's 92, and his questions are so simple he can't answer them, and he doesn't care about the individual wealth of people. He's like a group wealth guy, which is essentially the fine line between socialism and communism, because he has $1 billion.
Yeah.
So it's easy for him to say that. What about the people that want the American dream? Like, he doesn't respect capitalism at all. And unfortunately, in California, capitalism starts to become a dirty word. People just don't want to work, and they just want to be on the dole. And it's because these crazy people keep saying that that's perfectly okay.
Right.
And then they say, let those crazy people vote for us. Let undocumented people vote in our elections. They don't want voter ID. And they don't. Then they're like, okay, now we don't have any money. Let's raise the taxes on the rich. Dude, the rich left. There's no one left.
Yeah, that's an issue. Elaine, we got to take a break here. Hang on the line. Right back after this on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of The Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. And as you know, on this show, it's all about the American spirit. Bold, proud, and unapologetic. And Red State Spirits does the same from grain to glass. Enjoy their true American vodka, smooth bourbon whiskey, classic gin, or rich rum, crafted by veterans for those who stand tall and sip strong. And no matter how you stock your bar, enjoy the flat rate shipping with just $20, whether it's 1 bottle or 6. Order online today at redstatespirits.com. That's redstatespirits.com and tell them I sent you. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it.
Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
This segment of the Voice of Reason brought to you by Hooser Health. For your holistic health remedies, find more online at HooserHealth.com.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Great to have you here. We got our one segment left for your Friday episode of The Voice of Reason. If you want more information, you can find us on our website at HooserReason.com. We're hanging out with the no-party preference candidate for governor in the state of California, Elaine Coulati. Elaine, as we kind of wrap up that last conversation we went into at the break, and I hated to cut you off there, it's wild to me to think that one of the largest states in the nation can only see population growth if you have to import migrants. That's kind of weird to me.
Well, ding, ding, ding. Ring her bell. She got one thing right. You know, honestly, Nathia Rahman is a registered Democratic socialist, and she's running for mayor against Karen Bass, and Spencer Pratt is in there to disrupt it.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, in the mayor's race, it's a bipartisan, non-party race. You cannot list your party by your name. So we have a Democratic socialist, a sort of Democratic socialist Bass, and then Spencer Pratt, who's a no-party preference. He used to be a Democrat. And he's like, I just want my town back.
Yeah.
You know, oh, well, that's a novel idea. How about that idea? I just want my town back. And I'm running on that. You know, I just want California back.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any more of these nonsense. One of the gals in there started giving him a hard time about, on the mayoral race, and Nathia Rahman started giving Spencer a hard time about, like, basically not being for L.A. or something. And he's like, I'm born and raised in L.A. Where did you come from? Like, this is the problem. Like, these people are so entitled that just showed up here that they don't think about the fact that these are real Californians that they're affecting. People who have made a life 2 and 3 generations here. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it really is. Well, California is one of the most beautiful states in the nation, and to see it go so far to the left to where they have such a stronghold is so insane, and it's really unfortunate. And God bless you for trying to fight that system and change it. I know it's going to be difficult, and it's not going to be done overnight, but we have to do this because they have ruined one of the most beautiful states. And I've never been to California. I take that back. I went to the Reagan Ranch one time, but I've never really been to go and visit a lot of California. So many people want to do so. Right now, there's really not a lot of interest in people going to do tourism there.
Well, you can't. It's not safe. All the big cities like Hollywood and Hollywood Boulevard and the things that you want to do when you're here, it's not safe.
Yeah.
We have 8,200 police officers for 4 million people in L.A. That's 3,300 people roughly if you call 911, you know. hopefully 1 in 3,300% one might show up for you.
Right.
It's really not safe. You can't comment. We need a revamp.
Yeah.
I want to be the governor I really do want to just get rid of all the middlemen in all of California, get rid of all of them. All these NGOs, all these nonprofits that say that they're helping, and all these special interests. Get rid of all of them, and let's just pay our regular bills, and let's just get back to basics here.
Get back to normal. I love that. Last thing for you, Elaine, because of that. We're seeing right now the social experiment under the idea of socialism with Zoran Mamdani in New York City. Is that the wake-up call, do you think, for some voters in California to say, it might have sounded great. We're watching Mamdani do his thing in New York, not quite panning out the way it needs to. Maybe we should change our mind and do something different here in California.
Well, I think very much that, as a person who pays taxes and as a business person, I understand vastly every aspect of what taxing billionaires and millionaires and real estate and unrealized capital gains does. Okay, I understand it. But what you must understand is the majority of citizens in these large metropolises do not pay taxes and do not understand it. So they are fighting to get on a dole, some sort of, stipend or, government program. And that is why they vote for people like Mamdani. When you have that in a place like Los Angeles, you suffer the same consequences. So there's 4 million people in L.A. City that are going to vote for a mayor, and only 17,000 of them are in the Palisades that lost their homes.
Right.
So this is the math, the real math. So you honestly have to bottom out and not be able to pay your bills and have people wandering the street like zombies before someone says, oh, maybe our experiment isn't going to work.
Well, yeah, we're seeing it right now, which is wild. Elaine, I don't know how you've been able to survive out there as an entrepreneur, as a business person, and as someone fighting to fight that system. God bless you for it. It is a uphill battle, and it's unfortunate, but we support whatever you're doing here. It's Elaine Kulati. Go check out our website, elainekulati.com. Elaine, it's so good to talk to you, my friend. I love getting you on the program. Give us another update here real soon.
Thank you so much, you guys. Vote for an independent. Find an independent. Find a no-party preference.
There you go. The independent move, the no-party preference out there in California. Interesting system they have set up out there as well. Elaine, we appreciate it very much. We always love getting you on the show. What a fireball, man. And she would be a fun one to watch tear up that place in California and get things back on track. We're out of time, though. Back at it again before you know it. Do not miss our weekend episode. We have plenty more to cover there. Until then, be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change in your own community. It is the Voice of Reason. I am Andy Hooser. We will see you back on the radio soon here. Bye.
For too long, Washington has said no to builders, workers, and American families.